Hello everyone, welcome to PS Galaxy. Today we will start a new chapter from social and political life. Chapter number 1, the Indian Constitution. Political science or social and political life is so comprehensive in nature, from monarchy to anarchy, from dictatorship to democracy, from struggle to victory. It tells us everything about the countries in the world. It revolves around the nature, causes, consequences, and decisions. Decisions that becomes a part of a country's constitution. And what makes political science so interesting is that we live it, we experience it. It was about 70 years ago that India achieved independence from the British. This independence came through a rigorous struggle by its people, people who fought and prevailed. India is now a democratic country, a country of different languages, religions, caste, and creed. It is a democracy that is governed by a constitution that protects, that guarantees some rights, rights that empower the people. So, let's begin on a journey about the fine features of the Indian Constitution. What is it about? What is it based on? And what are its features? Do we have any rules in our society that govern our lives? Yes, we do. A country also has constitutive rules that make it what it is and differentiate it from other countries. In large countries where different communities of people live together, these rules are formulated through consensus, which means by agreement of people. And in most countries, this consensus is usually available in written form, and this written document in which we find such rules is called a constitution. Now, do you know why we need a constitution? How the constitution got written or who wrote it? That's what we will talk about in this session along with the key features of the Indian constitution. So let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, that most of the modern countries in the world have a constitution and mostly all democratic countries including India do have their own constitution. But it is not necessary that all countries that have a constitution are democratic, meaning that there are still countries that do have a constitution but the nature of the government may not be democratic. Now, why does a country need a constitution? See, the constitution serves several purposes. Firstly, it lays out certain ideals. These ideals are goals and principles in their most perfect form. They are basis of the functioning of a country that we as citizens aspire to live in. In simple words, a constitution tells us what is the fundamental nature of our society. We know that a country is made up of different communities, especially India, which has a very vast communities. Now, different communities means that they have different ideals. While they may share certain beliefs, it is also possible for them to disagree on all issues. So, this is where a constitution helps. It serves as a set of rules and principles that every citizen in a country can agree upon. It forms the basis of a way in which they want the country to be governed. This includes not only the types of government but also an agreement on certain ideals that they all believe the country should uphold. Another important function of a constitution plays in a democracy is to ensure that a dominant group does not use its power against other, less powerful people or group. Why we have a constitution is precisely to prevent this tyranny or domination by the majority to a minority. Now, how do you think this takes place? This domination can occur in different ways. Sometimes one community dominates another, and this refers to as inter-community domination. Or members of one community dominate others within the same community, and this refers to as intra-community domination. But with laws and rules in place, such domination is forbidden. Now, let's see the third significant reason to why we need a constitution. We also need a constitution to save us from ourselves because sometime we might feel strongly about an issue that might go against our larger interests. For example, Sometimes we may decide to do something that is not good for our own self, and that is when the Constitution helps us, safeguards against this. So, one thing is very clear that a constitution has a very important role in democratic societies. It lays down the ideals that define the kind of country we want to live in. The Constitution lays down the rules that prevent the political leaders from misusing their authorities. It also ensures that the voice of the minority is not drowned in the domination of the majority. It also protects us against our own decision that may have adverse effect on the principles that a country believed in. To safeguard its citizens against such misuse of power, the Constitution of India has three tiers of checks and balance: vertical, horizontal, and institutional. The vertical check and balance includes the constitutional rights of the individual, enforceable against the state. The horizontal check includes the separation of power amongst the different organs of government, that is, the executive, legislative, and judiciary. The Constitution also contained an institutional check and balance by the constitutional bodies. The Constitution ensures that democracy sustain and survive by giving to its citizens the universal adult franchise through which governments are made or unmade under the supervision of an independent election commission. So, with this, we come to the end of this video. But we have a lot more to discuss, which we will be continuing in our next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.